Often the fights we remember through history are the wars, the bloody battles that somehow get retained upstairs. Felix Sturm, Daniel Geale, in theory, should not be that. Two guys with silky skills. They're more boxers than fighter.
Oh, definitely. They're both classic boxers. I think it'll be a scientific battle of the jabs and trying to find openings. But as I said before, I think at this stage, Daniel's just that bit faster. He moves better. He moves around the ring side to side both ways, whereas Felix Sturm sort of pretty steadfast, walks up, hands held high in that European style behind the jab, looking for openings. And I think at this stage of their respective careers, I just think Daniel's going to be a bit too snappy. One thing he's going to have to do, though, is every time he gets hit, he's got to land 3 punches.
Yeah, it certainly does, and we saw that in spurts when he took on Sebastian Silvestre in May 2011 and won. Well, as I said earlier, the Grange team is over in Germany. They've acclimatised well, they've settled in. I don't know if they're quite enjoying, but not far from it. Ben Damon caught up with Team Geale and the real deal over in Germany.
Well, Daniel, thanks so much for joining us. It must be very exciting to be back in Germany. I'm sure you've got some very fond memories.
Yeah, very glad to be back. We got the job done last time. We were extremely happy, so it does give us a little bit more confidence coming back again. How
do you find the German people? You've been here a few times now. What about the media and even your opponents? They all seem very polite.
We've been treated very well, and you know, it's sort of, yeah, to be expected, I guess. They don't show us the greatest you know, love or anything like that, but in the same token, they're not nasty towards us as well, which is good. They know, you know, we're here to take the title, and you know, they're probably a little bit worried about that as well, and you know, that's fair enough.
Well, you just stood toe-to-toe with Felix Sturm. What do you see when you stand that close to him?
Yeah, we didn't see too much. I mean, he doesn't give too much away. You get what you get with him, I think. You know, he doesn't show a lot, but when it comes down to the fight time, you know, things will come out then especially. There are certain aspects we want to try and exploit with Felix's game, and you know, we're hoping that's going to go to plan.
Well, his record is certainly very, very imposing. 12 times he's defended this title. He's never lost on points in Germany. Those sorts of records, they must be a little bit intimidating for you.
Not really. Not too difficult. I mean, yeah, if you worry too much about, you know, what's happened in the past, you know, fighting in Germany, the decision in Germany, you know, what fight are you fighting in Germany, you're not worried too much about yourself. And you know, we understand everything about you know, what we're doing, but the focus is on me. If I fight the way that I know I can, then I'll come away with both the belts. So yeah, we're not blowing things out of proportion. It is going to be a tough fight. We expect a tough fight every time. But the better fighters that I fight, the better that I fight.
And in saying all that, you do have the distinct advantage that you have been to Germany before, and that time they said you couldn't win on points, and you did. You beat Sebastian Silvestre. That must give you huge confidence, the fact that you've been here and done it before.
Nobody expected us last time to win, and probably, you know, most people don't expect me to win this time, and I like being in that position. It's you know, it's a position that I'm familiar with, and it probably gives me more confidence. If people are, you know, maybe not hoping that I'll lose, but expecting me to lose. I just like proving people wrong, and you know, like I said, I'm going to step up and I'm going to fight the fight of my life on Saturday.
Well, your preparation's not too far away from its end. The fight comes up on Saturday, so you've got a few days left, but how are you feeling? How's your body this far out from the fight?
Yeah, the body's in great condition. You know, fitness is extremely high, and the strength's still really high. And we sort of took things slowly the first couple of days, and just got back into the swing of things. And the sleeping patterns are great. You know, we got no problems at all.
It is an enormous fight, this one. Unification, just how important is that to you? What does it mean?
It is huge, and these days it's much more difficult to be able to do that. The organisations these days sometimes tend not to try not to let that happen so much, and it's just great that WBA and the IBF have sort of been able to let this fight happen, and to walk away with 2 titles, I mean, it's massive, and could lead on to so much more as well.
It's a huge time in the middleweight division. It is the division in boxing at the moment, and it means that this fight for you could open up doors that, well, fighters would never have dreamt of before.
What's great about it as well is these top fighters are fighting each other. That's what people want to see, and the middleweight division is a division that people look upon for big fights, for good fights, and it's great that it is happening at the moment. For too many years, things happen where the best fighters don't get to fight each other, but now at the moment things are happening, and that's what people want to see. If we're competing with other sports, footballs and the UFC and things like that. We need to put ourselves out there and let the best fighters fight each other, give the fans what they want to see.
You would have watched plenty of Felix Sturm's fights in preparation for this one. What have you made of the last few of his fights that you've seen?
Defensively, he is very good, very hard to hit, very hard, extremely hard to hurt. He's got a good chin as well, and bases a lot of his boxing off his jab. He's got fairly good feet as well. So for any fighter, that's why a lot of fighters have had a lot of trouble with Felix Sturm, because if they stand in front of him, he makes it very hard for him. If they move around him, he makes it very hard for him. And it's probably only in his last couple of fights where he has had a little bit more trouble, and the guys have come onto him a little bit. I guess there are a couple of areas that can be exploited, and whether he still has the hunger and the desire to still be able to push against the best fighters in the world, we'll have to wait and see.
I know fighters don't go into a fight solely looking for the knockout, but have you come to Germany with that in mind, that the knockout might be the best route for you to win this fight?
We don't go in there with the plans to do that. In all honesty, that may happen anyway. We've been working on different things in the gym. I believe my strength is picked up a little bit from last time, and heaps from the time before. So each camp, I'm getting a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. But it is very difficult to get knockouts against top fighters as well. But I'm not going to be unhappy if it does happen, and if something does go to some of the little plans that we have, if it sort of falls into place for me, then I don't see a reason why I can't knock Felix Sturm out.
You're certainly not a fighter who talks themselves up, but you've got that extra bit of confidence ahead of this fight, don't you? You're very, very intent on the fact that you are going to win this fight. That's
right. I think you have to be confident, especially in this situation. If you're not confident, then don't bother coming. Fighting in your own backyard, of course you're going to have a lot more confidence, but if you fight in their backyard, you still have to take that confidence with you. You probably have to have more confidence in your own ability when that happens. And I guess for me, because I have travelled before and I have fought in front of hostile crowds before, it's not that big a deal for me. It raises the stakes a little bit, but it gets me a little bit more excited, a little bit more pumped, and I'm just extremely happy that everything has gone to plan throughout this training camp. Graham Shaw's has done an excellent job. Feeling great though.
He's a cool dude. He's relaxed. He's confident. Johnny Lewis, it's a pretty positive mindset.
I like what I saw from the first sentence to the last. I think he's reeking of confidence. I think he's. We all know that physically he's prepared well, but mentally he's on top of it all. And gee whiz, I'm more confident than ever before just by watching that little interview.
You just really see him on top of his game. He's talking so calmly, but you can see the intensity if you look in his eyes. He really is there to win. There's no doubt in his mind at all.
And we look forward to it Sunday morning, our time. Daniel Geale, Felix Sturm. We're going to continue on our look on the road to Sturm. Title defence #1 for the newly crowned IBF World Middleweight Champion Daniel Geale. It took place in August 2011 against Erma Albert.